Okay, and we're ready.
Okay, welcome to the May 21st ZBA meeting. Welcome, everybody. Our first order of business is to select officers, because we have not done that this year. As has been customary, we rotate. Does anybody have a problem with that currently?
I'm not rotation, right?
You're not in rotation?
Nope, no problem.
Okay, all right. So I would like to nominate Jim Engel as our new chair and Matt Gilman as our new vice chair.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Right.
Do we vote for ourselves?
You certainly can. You voted, consider yourself voting for Jim.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Good for it, yeah.
Any opposed? All right. All right. So,
Mine? All right.
take it away.
So, do we have any minutes?
We do not have minutes. We'll have to do those next.
No. So moving right on to the first case, ZBA case 1902. Variance application from James Oler. Torrey, yep. And that is for 40 Lake Road. Do you want to go ahead and present your case?
Sure, I'm not sure how this all works, but
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we'll open it up to you so you can present your case. We have the application. And if you could just talk through your application, and then we will ask questions, open it up to discussion, and go from there.
okay. So I won't read the name here.
So just state your name and,
Oh,
okay?
Yep.
sure, I'm Jim Vittori, residence is 40 Lake Road in Tilton.
That's fine.
I appreciate it.
Go ahead. No, it's fine.
All right, and so the application is we plan on building a garage. It's a 36 by 36 garage, and it's going to replace, there's a current structure there. So this garage is larger than the current structure, so it now needs a variance from getting closer to the property line on both the roadside and the neighbor side. My issue is I probably can show you some pictures, there's a big rock on one side and it doesn't allow me to go that way, and on the other side, okay, is my well coming up through, so I can't go this way. So I need to position the garage pretty much the way it's laid out there in the picture to show the offset. Certainly the garage will allow us to put all my vehicles inside during the winter. Not have any issues with clearing them off as we have today with the big trailers trying to snow off during the winter, so I'm putting the trailers inside. Also, the neighbors have asked me before to park my boat trailers off-site somewhere because it takes up quite a bit of space. So this way the boat trailer will be inside the garage. Cosmetically, to me, it's going to be quite more appealing to the neighbors. I have talked to both my neighbors on both sides. They both have no issue with where I'm putting it. And what the plan is, it is only one story, so I don't plan on going too high, so I won't be sticking up, say above the tree lines or anything like that. There are other neighbors who have storage buildings on that road, so I won't be the first one that has a storage building like that. Bartons have 2 or 3 storage locations, and my neighbor on one side does have a garage currently on my, let's see, my right side of my property line. So I think that's about, I guess, why we're doing it and the input we'll have on us and the neighbors and what we're trying to accomplish. If you'd like to see some pictures, I can show you the property.
If you have a better perspective of the property, has anybody visited the property? Address?
It wasn't required.
No, I was just curious.
I just drove down through the neighborhood.
Okay.
Where I live.
Which exact tax map? Do you guys know which one it is? What is?
It's on this,
Is it you two?
no, it's on this, here, this guy.
Right.
It's lot 41?
Yeah, it's 41,
Yep.
even going 40. I don't know how the numbers are all set, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, 40, I think, that's
Right.
lot 40, yeah.
It's lot 41.
41, yeah. Cool.
So this is the current building that's there. This is what I was talking about as far as the well, and on this side. And this gives you an idea. The other side of the property will, there's a big rock from this.
And this garage is getting torn down?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. That's why,
And what's the measurements on that, 24 by 36?
this garage,
Yeah.
no, it's 17 by,
Oh, okay.
yeah. 36.
Pictures to it. Make it bigger.
Yeah, that's why I took this thing here, this is
Yes.
the original,
That
and I
is-
drew,
Oh, okay.
that's the current structure that's there, that little. And then I just placed that on top, so you can see how the 36 fits over where the current one is.
One question I had on
Yeah.
the, I guess I'll call it the backside,
The
where.
one closest.
The one
Yes.
closest there.
Yeah.
That land seemed to drop some.
Yes.
How is that gonna be handled as far as the neighbor and that fence line and the new structure?
Again, I did talk to that neighbor, because we're very close friends in that. So what will be that back wall will be like a 7-foot-high cement wall. Okay, because the road really drops off.
Right.
The excavating work is more costly than,
Yeah.
it's very costly, because it drops off like that. So there'll be a cement wall, okay, and there's currently a fence, a picket fence along that side.
Right.
So the picket fence is there today, that's our property line. And then, in 6-8 feet, okay, will be, again, this is a gradual slope. Oh, today in the back, this is that back side you asked. This is the back side, there's like
Oh, okay.
an easement or a wall there now.
Retaining
okay,
wall.
Retaining wall there
Okay.
now, and this will be just about where that retaining wall is. So this will probably be the same side here, just down this end, okay, will be quite a bit higher.
So,
So today she sees that retaining wall and then the building.
and,
Oh, here's a better one. There's, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
we'll
Yeah,
just
let's-
share
yeah,
it.
let's
We'll just
share it.
share 'em.
He was asking the questions.
Yeah.
So what's changing from what it is now?
Well, where this retaining wall is, there'll be a cement wall, because that'll be the back,
Yep.
okay, of the building.
so that retaining wall will essentially be the back of the new garage?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
It's the, it'll
Right.
be a port foundation, is that
Oh,
what you're
yes,
saying?
port foundation, yeah.
So this says guest house on here?
Yeah.
People sleep in that?
No, well, Mr.
Is-
Lamb,
is-
he had it, people stayed there.
Is there an intent to have this an
No.
apartment
No, it isn't.
or any plumbing or anything?
Well, I plan on having water in there, yes.
Is this the building
The
you're
wash.
putting in there?
Well, I just did a schematic to show it's a one-story, but it's gonna look similar to that. So there will be water, okay, into the building, because there's water currently, in the building, so I want to leave there so I can wash my cars.
Yeah.
But there's no intent, okay, of any residents.
Okay, and is there a requirement for, in your organization that things be,
The neighborhood?
There's no organization by anybody, okay, we're all individually owned
Okay.
property.
so your neighbors don't like it, but you're not required by any ordinance to put your boat trailer someplace else?
Oh, no,
All right.
No, it's not. I was looking
Shannon, did we get, was there any feedback from any of the abutters?
I never had anything.
Okay.
They're all notified?
Yep.
yeah,
Right, you guys are voters?
No, we're
No.
Because they missed the last
Right.
meeting, so
yeah,
they
I had a
had
meeting
two
scheduled
opportunities.
last week,
Yeah.
last month, we should have.
But out of courtcy, we did speak with them as well, because that's kind of what we do with each other.
Right,
And
it's,
they were-
but we don't,
No, I know
that,
that.
we have no feedback. So
Right,
that's,
right,
that,
okay.
all right, that's all.
But they were notified.
They were no, yes.
I think most of you know Leaf, what do I say his last name?
Martin's.
Martinson. He's one of my neighbors.
No, I saw it, I'm good, I don't know.
Yep.
Eric's. Thank you.
Where we're putting what?
Possible for me to, borrow these? Okay, I just have to get them in a public record, I
Yep.
can return them.
Well, you can.
Okay.
I just
Thank
make
you.
copies of them.
Do you have anything else to add? Is that,
No, not unless there's any other further questions.
okay?
I mean, I think,
Do we have any further questions?
Yeah, I have one question. What about drainage? Are you doing anything, because I know it's sloping down for the back, so that's just being built up and then there's just, is there any drainage plan for that? Because the building is getting bigger, just to make
I
sure
guess
there's no
I would talk
excessive
to my
runoff.
landscaper, I mean, my excavator, he'd be doing that type of thing, but the water, the roof is gonna go not onto the property, the roof is gonna go this way, so it's dumping on my property both sides.
But not a ton of runoff. Should,
Just for the, sounds like.
Yeah, just so we,
And you're increasing the size of it because,
to allow to put all the cars and the trailers inside. The boat trailer itself is 35 feet long, so that's why I'm gonna put the whole trailer inside it.
How big was the building that's there now?
I think it's 17 by 24.
What's that? Yeah.
Any other questions?
it's just from What happened?
Well,
Okay. Huh? I'm like, I just need to find it.
Could you make this bigger and still stay in the setbacks, just not big enough to fit all the things you want to fit into it, is that?
The only way I could do that is put my well inside my garage.
No, I'm just like, correct me if my math is wrong, you have a 408 square foot garage shed right now.
Yeah.
And you're going to a 1,296 square foot, that's the change. Can you get it bigger than you have now and stay within those setbacks? Or you cannot change the size at all and stay within the setbacks? I don't know if my question makes sense.
Because of the rock on one side, I can't go that way,
Right.
and because of the well on this side, I can't go that
So
way.
if you make it a foot bigger towards the setbacks, are you immediately crossing the setback lines?
Well, I'm within the setback lines now, I think they're 20
He's
feet.
already in
Right,
violation
yeah,
of the
he's
He's
setback.
already past.
already
He's already
in
in, yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
get at, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
see.
good
because
question.
the dotted, yeah.
See the
Yeah, the
dot,
dotted
yeah.
shows.
I'm trying to
marks.
figure out where it's changing, I guess, is like, I don't understand, like, you know,
The
she
green.
can't go back this way, you know what I mean? That
Oh,
doesn't-
so you're
Yeah.
saying move everything this direction?
Right,
Right.
right.
There's
So
Yes.
move it here.
There's a rock here.
Okay, that's
so he's
the
landlocked.
connotation I don't understand.
And
Okay.
there's a well here, so he's landlocked, so he can't go that way or that way
Okay.
at all. He
That's
can-
the-
He can go that way, but that would be like a peninsula and it really wouldn't be useful as a
Right,
rock.
right, right, yeah. That's the orientation I didn't understand.
Although
where
this is a
was.
paved drive.
And the well is somewhere in there.
That is right in that corner. Yeah.
So if
Okay.
the well is here, though,
Well, it's gonna be,
That's
the
a
well is outside the drawing. Well, it's right there.
Okay.
It's right in front of the garage, in front of that car.
Right,
It's right, where that little red dot is, that's where the well is.
right. Okay.
so you were actually asking, can you move it like here?
And just to be, was there a way to change it, or was it was not so encompassing on the setbacks? Like, could we make a bigger building, but not, but still be within it? Or was it the size of the building that was making it the setbacks? And the answer to my question is it's already within.
Yes, I'm already within this one here.
It goes over here, and this is the setback here.
It's just, it says it's I thought that said a 30-foot setback, I didn't know if these were accurate, but it could be just the
That's
resolution.
30.
That's a 30-foot setback, it sounds 20.
Yes.
Right.
And he couldn't go here because of that rock.
Right, you have to go here into
And
this
even still,
section,
it'd be in it,
Yeah.
but you're in a paved driveway already.
but you'd be building into that setback either way, like even if you
Yeah.
pick this up
Yeah.
and consider
Oh,
here,
yeah,
it's still
right.
be.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't,
What
He's
is
already
this?
close to the road as it is, so that's also.
you know what that little dot,
What is OH?
I think that's something to be.
Overhead wire, maybe?
Oh, yes, that's
Oh,
right. Yeah,
okay.
very good, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the telephone pole line.
Okay.
Yes, that's what that is.
Okay.
Good point.
So are you required to get shoreline permits for this?
I think this other dotted line is the shoreline protection.
Yes.
line.
That's a good point.
Right, but I
That's the
mean,
dotted
a
line.
lot of,
I went in, this is the shoreline. If I was in here, then the answer would be yes, but since I'm over here, the answer is no. This is the shoreline for the,
That's
right.
Right here.
Right, so
Okay.
He's not encroaching upon that.
okay.
50 feet.
Right.
Oh,
So that's why it's not required for the south
Are you-
side of that.
so you're not, there's no require for a setback from this? Okay.
Awesome.
that's really trees.
Yeah.
We all set to discuss it amongst yourselves?
Do you have any more questions?
Okay.
Eric?
So we're gonna go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and move to time in this meeting where we're gonna discuss the case, and if we have further questions, we'll ask, but we're closed to public comment at this time. So,
So when will I know the decision?
what's that? No, you're welcome to stay.
Oh, I'm
It's just
sorry.
that at this point in time, we're closed to public comment,
Oh.
so we're going to talk here in front of everybody,
Oh, okay.
amongst ourselves to discuss the case and go through the variance requirements and possibly vote on it as well. So,
Okay.
but if, again, we have any questions, we'll address those at the time. So, thoughts, comments?
Seems pretty straightforward, he's just putting, it seems like the garage is actually sliding forward closer to the road in the driveway and up to the corner than if anything else. So, the retaining wall doesn't look like it's gonna move a whole lot,
Right.
just the road.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a retaining wall there, that does.
I didn't see it when I drove by, so
Yeah.
it's,
So, um, I'm having trouble with hardship.
What?
So, if I understand how the rules go, right, that you have to be able to prove some level of hardship, a reason why you could not, the property is not usable for the purpose, right? So, they have an existing garage of a certain size that's storage in it, right? The desire is just to make it bigger,
For different uses.
I think,
but there's not,
I think the current use is more of a guest house. Is it, that one picture, it was, do you have that picture? Sorry.
there's a window.
Well, it was a deck, it was a door.
Yeah.
but he said it wasn't used as a guest house, I asked him.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Oh,
But see here, yeah, there's a shed door here,
Yeah.
right? But if you go here, this is the left side, this is the, so you have this, and then on the side here, you see the sidewalk? So the sidewalk goes here and it goes to the back, so it's like a, for lack of a better comparison, it's like a toy hauler trailer.
Oh,
Where-
okay.
Where you put your stuff on, whatever, if it's 24 feet, you may have 8 feet in the front dedicated bikes and things like that. Then the rest of the house, 16 feet is dedicated as your living space. Just like a travel trailer would be on,
Okay.
but on a smaller scale. But you look at that, so he's, not like there's not a building there. The building that's there, I would imagine, I don't know how current the zone, when that zoning was put in, but, you know, it's already had the, in violation of the setback, so I don't know if his grandfather did, I don't know when the zoning was put in, it's his resort commercial. It's a weird setup because you have 20-foot, 30, you got 30-foot front back, 30.
And the setback orientation is pretty difficult.
So on the front, on one side of it, you have 30 foot, on the other side, you have 20 foot. So, whereas 30 foot, he's not going major, but he's still 20 feet. He's still 20 feet from the front lot line.
Right.
Right.
So he's within the setback, but the current structure that is there is already in
Right.
violation, I don't want to say violation.
Within
Right.
the setback.
It's within the setback.
Right.
And the back corner, the back side, the 17-foot side, looks like 90% of it is already in the setback.
Right.
So we're not changing the world there already. It's already,
We're already there.
we're already there.
Right.
All we're doing is, yeah, we're expanding it. I think the rock creates a hardship because you can't logically go elsewhere. If he goes on the other side of the lot, well, by golly, the whole thing is in
Yeah.
setback.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to the right side of the driveway, the whole thing is in setback.
And then the well is,
Yeah.
that's well, that's a huge.
Well, that's a,
I think hardship's met with this line here, but only to a special condition of the property that distinguishes it from another one in the area, and the
yeah, too, you got a
geography
well.
isn't the right word,
It's
but
older.
the rock. And
Well,
It-
Shawshank Redemption, man.
if you look at no fair and substantial relation exists between the, like that one, I mean, it's already, quote, in violation. It's not all of a
Okay.
sudden
I
gonna
hate
not
that
be
word,
in
I'm sorry.
violation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it in
It's
my mouth.
non-conforming.
It's already non-conforming. It's
Well,
not-
it's not non-conforming, it's already in the setback. He's not putting a building that isn't in the setback and putting it in the setback. The building is already, that's there, is already in the setback. So
Right.
he's just, he's using a little bit more.
Okay.
I get it, it's, those lots in that whole area back there, it goes to tax map, I mean,
Oh, I know. I know.
if you drive in there, I think I had another case for a planning board in there, or maybe it was on this board, we had another case in that neighborhood in Boy. I mean, you sneeze, you take the bus, the neighbor's next door to you, so, I mean, it's, you know,
It even gets worse when you go down the road.
it's like,
So we're going to move here.
They're
40.
20, I don't know where they're right
They're
here.
right there.
Yeah, that's 41. That's,
This one right there.
I think that's
If you look at the
fine.
layout
This
of
is the
the,
one with the same community as the other one.
Yeah.
The other one's the other here.
No. Lakewood is like, Lakewood, I think, has that, so it's
Lakewood is the next one down. on
yeah,
that.
I drive by it,
One, two, three.
I drive by it every day, so I just didn't pull it.
and I think that what I'm seeing is that, as you're saying, he's already in the setback anyway, and also the shape of the lot with the given setbacks makes it very difficult to use the property.
Well, then if you want to talk,
Yeah.
if you want to talk hardship, let's say he had the ability to blast that rock out and move it down or move it up, then he's going to encroach on the wetlands.
Right.
And that, I mean,
That
would be more.
that
of a
incurs a whole other
I think that would be
layer
more of a
of.
hardship for him than anything, because he's gonna, I don't.
Shoreline stuff is, yeah.
Yeah, even though he's, I mean, he may be
He's already-
48 out of the 50 feet away, but, you know,
Still.
once you cross that line, you don't want to,
Yeah.
no offense, you don't want to wish the DES on
Well,
you.
I assume they've already got the non-conformance, right?
Well, I think he's grandfather,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right term, but obviously it's there because it's there, so, and if you look at the house, it would sit in the shoreline protection area anyway, so I'm sure when they built it, how old's the house? Pretty old?
Oh, you know,
Yeah. Older than me, I'm sure.
Older.
so.
no.
Maybe not. I just turned a year older, so like. Nope.
I'm glad you're feeling better last time you came in.
Who, me? Yeah, just out of the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
You're still in the hospital.
Oh,
Last time I was here. I think it was just Jim and I were here.
oh.
Teeth too. I need teeth for 3.
Okay.
Any other thoughts, comments, discussion items?
I just would say,
So-
I know how to have an old garage, it has low ceiling height, and if I had the money, I'd want to repair it, or get it raised up, because I know that I can't fit any vehicle, not even a minivan in it, because when it was built, cars weren't that big.
So,
And part
I
of that,
sympathize with that,
yeah, part of that existing structure is got a low ceiling as well.
that's the worst.
so the only thing,
Yeah.
the only stipulation I would have is that it, should not be residential, should not be,
We're strictly a garage.
strictly
Right.
garage,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Sounds like that's the intent, but you're
Well,
thinking that it needs to be
Only be-
stated that it's not going to
Only
be.
because it says it on here, so I think we have to
Right.
Well, it says shed guest house in the front. of
shed
the
guest
shed.
house, right, so,
You want to remove any confusion.
yes, yes.
But what would be, why would we want to restrict that? What would be the problem of, in the future, forcing
could
that
cut-
regulation?
Somebody that's an occupied structure that's within those setbacks.
Well, here's where you're gonna cross a gray area, and I don't know the exact rules,
Why?
but it could be classified as an accessory dwelling unit.
Well, wouldn't they have to get a permit for that though? anyway?
That would be,
Well, accessory dwelling units have a whole different
yes.
rule of perk that goes along with them. So, I mean, those aren't, I believe technically allowed, but again, you might have to get another.
But this would be a separate, not attached, right?
That's
Which is,
not-
which
Accessory dwelling units are,
currently attached,
they
correct?
don't have to be anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
that wouldn't change.
Yeah, that
That's
was
changed
changed.
to the
Right, but
state
you still have to
legislature.
get,
that-
you still have to get a permit though, right?
Well, they got a permit to build it, whatever it is now, at one point, maybe they built it, I don't know.
I think if he did want to make the change, I guess what I'm getting at is, do we need to force the requirement that it not be? Because if he wants to make it an accessory dwelling unit in the future, granted that's not what he's trying to do now, but in the future, if he wants to, he has to jump through those hoops and go over those hurdles for that. And if it meets those requirements, then he should be allowed to.
This is
But
at
if
that
we
point.
if we do it now, those hoops never have to go through. It never has to actually,
Is this a
Because it could be
stick built, or is
grandfathered
this a
as a
wrecker
past structure.
Exactly.
What's ours?
with
Well,
residential,
shed? That
yeah.
or would?
Would,
But I still think it's unnecessary, I don't know.
I-
Because I feel like they're still gonna have to get the the health officer to come and inspect and all that before.
Why?
Because it would be it'd be a new building, so we still have to get the occupancy.
use.
But
Yeah.
but he's saying that he's only gonna have it as a garage with water, so why not just say it's gonna be just a garage, not residential? And then if he wants to do it residential later on, he can come in again and just say, okay, I've got water, you know, this is what I'd like to do. And he's allowed to, he would be allowed to, if that's what he wanted to do. But that's not what he's requesting now. He's only requesting the placement of a garage.
Right. And that's what we're talking about, that's what this case is about, is
Right.
a garage.
Right.
So you're just looking for a qualifier on there that its sole use is a garage.
Yep.
At this time? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What he's
If he
going
just,
for
if they
is a
decide,
garage.
right, what he's
Yeah,
asking
okay.
for is a garage, I say we say it's a garage, and then if they want to make it as an accessory dwelling at some point in the future, they can come back and say,
Okay.
we'd like, because they're within their, they would be within their rights to do that.
Just want the record to show what the building is intended for now.
Further qualifying it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So make a motion that we approve.
Do we want to discuss the different variants,
Criteria.
or
Yeah,
do
we
we?
can do that.
I feel like we need to
I-
go through every single one.
Yeah, you should.
I already said that.
Will granting this variance be contrary to the public interest
No.
in this case?
No.
So-
No.
Is the spirit of the ordinance observed with the granting of this ordinance, or of this variance?
I think because it's already in non-conforming,
Yep.
it's not making it any worse.
Substantial justice is done.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was justice
think
to the
it's
public,
fine.
right? That was how that,
Yeah.
you're doing justice to the public,
Right,
not necessarily the
The
person
injustice.
asking for it.
Yeah.
right.
Right, and
Yes,
I
it's the
know.
general public.
Yeah.
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 I don't really, yeah.
Ain't hurt there.
The values of the surrounding property are not diminished with
No.
this addition of
Definitely
this
agrees.
structure. I don't think they're diminished
Yeah.
at all. And literal enforcement of the provision of the zoning ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship to the applicant. And I think they would because of the lot.
Alright, yeah, I think
And
we
the
discussed
rock.
that, right?
Yeah, so I think,
So,
Correct?
and,
Yeah.
okay,
okay.
okay, so now we've
Oh,
discussed them
okay,
all.
so. Make a motion that we approve planning board case, zoning board,
It's a zoning.
zoning board of adjustment case 1902. Follow stipulations, the building only be used for garage purposes.
Second.
Can we discuss that a little bit more, the wording of that?
Sure?
Yeah,
Only be used. Because that sounds like it would limit further future use.
So that's what she's trying to do.
unless they come
Garage.
back for another,
It will be used
And-
for, as a garage.
At this time,
At-
what he's
Yeah.
requesting is a garage.
right. So it can be used as a garage if they want to.
At this
use it.
time,
At this
Right.
time.
yeah.
If, like, if in some point in the future they want to come back and ask the planning board to make it an accessory, or the zoning board to make it an accessory
Word
dwelling.
planning, stuck
That's, yes,
Second time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool, so is that motion still good?
Discussion, yeah.
I think it's, yeah, I
I
think.
think you just called for vote.
Yeah, so I say we vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is approved.
Okay.
Go forth, and go.
Yeah, very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So this is 40.
So this one is the
We're
next
We're on
one.
Lakewood now.
Yes.
Oh, that was
Moving on.
really fun with the balls.
No, we learned.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, my first
That was, all right.
Yes, make it now. All right, so, yeah.
Well, that's just, eventually.
The same places.
It's actually not.
It has the same name.
Well,
Same floating circle there.
Yeah, same.
They're so tight in there.
Oh, it's actually two separate roads. You
Nice
can't,
meeting
you
you all.
can't get one to the other.
Thank you.
Is it? From the last place we did?
See this?
Yes.
That was the same.
Yes, and you said Jim.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about driving
Yeah.
these two roads.
Thank you, everyone.
Because you're on James, it's the same thing.
Right.
So, moving on to
Well, there's older.
the next case, case
I
19,
think so.
zoning board case 1903. And it's a variance application from Ron Thurin, and that is at 14 Lakewood Drive for an expansion of existing structure on a non-conforming lot. So as you've seen how the other case went, we'll do the same thing.
Okay, again, my name is Ron Thury, and my wife
Colleen.
Colleen. We purchased this little cottage in January of this year. Okay, so we just passed on it in January. It's very, very small. As you can see, it's about 400 square feet. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bath, extremely small. When we purchased this, we really purchased this because of the size of the lot. And when we were going through the process, we were told that we could expand the building to the 6-foot dotted line area that you'll see there, okay? And it was a surprise to find out that that was not necessarily the case. So I guess according to the Lakewood Condo Association, that's what they use for their setback. That 6 foot is their setback.
Right.
Okay. So what we wanted to do is, we don't have any real specific building plans right now. I broke this up into 3 different sections because what we're trying to do is figure out how and where we can expand what I'm going to call the footprint of the building, okay? As you can see, if everybody has it there, there's the letter A, which is just basically squaring off the building itself, okay? Then there's B with an expansion of a 12-foot by 15-foot addition. That would be B. And then finally C, if we really wanted to get into something a little bit bigger, would be to build off of that 16 feet by 32 feet long. Okay? Again, we're just trying to, I don't have any specifics as far as what we're going to build. This was just really a footprint thing. And I'll be very honest with you, I thought that when I submitted this with the verbiage and all that, I thought that there was going to be a sit-down talk before a hearing, which is fine. I don't have a problem with this, but that's what I thought it would be, to try to hash it out a little bit, try to get a little bit more detail as to what we were looking for. But anyway, that's it in a nutshell. It's just really the footprint itself so that we can reasonably use the land that's available there.
So I have a question. I have a quick, just in general question. I'm hoping somebody else can answer.
Before we go, I think it sounds like we're probably going to have a lot of back and forth discussion because there's a lot of planning thoughts with this.
Mhm.
So, anyway,
Well,
so
I guess
just go
my
ahead.
question is, when you come to the zoning board, you come with a request, and then you make a decision, and you're not allowed to go home until you make a decision. And this is being fleshed out. And I guess my question is, if we don't have enough information to make a assessment, does it make sense to move forward?
I think it does because, sorry to interrupt,
No.
but I just think,
No.
I think it does because we already really hashed out the last house. It's right around the corner. I remember the one they already built without the permits, and they,
Isn't this the same house?
no, it's the
No.
same community.
No, it's the
No,
same
like
house,
community.
and they sold, and it appears as if
It's the
They-
same lot. It's
No,
the
it's
same-
not.
No.
No, it's
No,
not.
same
It
owner.
is
lot 8.
What-
I have it
just
right
so you-
here.
You understand?
I know
The
exactly
last
what you're
house.
talking about.
Yeah, you
Because-
guys are not that same.
because-
We're not the
Did
same
you
owners.
purchase
We bought
it from
them.
Deborah
Yes,
and
we bought it
David?
from them.
Yes.
Yes.
So wait a minute. So did the previous owner, Lavoy,
Lavoie's.
did they own this house?
They
Yes.
used to, we purchased
So they
it from.
purchased the house.
They purchased a different
The
house.
No,
other
they did
house.
not.
Yes.
Yes.
No, they did
Yes.
not.
Yes, I'll show you. Let me show
So
you.
here's the house. Here's the little.
Look at this one right here. Read that.
Look at this map to lot 6.
That's what we're looking
Can I
at.
just have them
That's
show me
what this
on
one
Google Maps
is.
which one it is?
That's what this
We're
one
not
is.
on the water.
Okay.
That
So
will
which
be
one?
on-
Which one is
Right
that? So
here.
we can use. All right.
Yeah, no, the houses look the same, the names are the same. Yes, I was equally confused.
Yep,
I was
okay,
equally
perfect.
confused.
So we're talking about this one right here.
Yeah.
It's not the same lot.
Alright guys,
Yeah.
he's talking about, he's this one right here.
Yes.
We're talking about this one.
Right, it is
So-
not the same lot. I don't, you weren't here for the other
Nope,
case,
this
that's
is
why you're
totally-
not,
yeah.
you're not confused.
This is
You-
fresh to me.
Yeah.
So the other case, they ended up building a whole house without the permit. and we went through it, and they're like, every house is 3 foot off, it seems like each other.
Yeah.
That's why we were on it.
So I think, guess what your question is here is we may impose a restriction and they don't necessarily know what they want.
Exactly.
And so would they be better off to figure out what they wanted
And then
come
come
back?
back.
Well,
And my recommendation would be, oh, sorry.
No, you go
Yeah.
ahead, and
Would
we'll
be
get to you.
that you have somebody in your neighborhood that went through this on a similar thing, and you might talk to them about some of the things
I would
we
say-
discussed.
I wouldn't do that.
They're not going to give us that information.
You could watch on television.
I know.
It's on, we record everything.
I guess I'm a little bit confused, because all we're really trying to find out is if we have setback issues. That's the reason why I think we're here anyways.
Right.
We want to be able to figure out whether or not, in some cases, we can follow the setbacks of the condo association, and in other cases, what the town requires. All we're really trying to do is say,
Town supersedes
all we're really
condo.
trying to do is say, okay, what is drawn out here, you can't go beyond this point. That's what it is. If these dimensions are okay within this lot, that's all we're really trying to get.
So
Before we do anything, we would still have to come back.
what you're seeking
You
is,
wouldn't come back to us, though. You-
Whomever, I don't know.
Right.
who would
right,
be.
what you're seeking is clarification on what you can do within the setbacks of the town.
Of the town and
Or the
along with the
association.
condo association.
Okay, so we're not gonna be able to speak for the condo association, we can only speak for the town. But as I think it's already been said, the town requirements will supersede the condo association. If the condo association is more strict, then you'll have to follow theirs, but if it's less strict, you'll have to follow the town, as a general understanding.
Sorry, I just don't want to lose my train of thought.
Yep.
I just want to let my whole line of thinking on this is that we hashed it out, and these other people, they went way ahead and just did it, and then we just let them build it and said, okay. So I feel like since we follow the condo's rules for that case, and this is a very similar case, I feel like we should respond the same way in fairness. And if we don't, then we're
Well-
basically telling people, just go ahead and build, because we won't do anything to you because of it.
So what they're asking is
Is-
different, because
It's
The
essentially the
other-
same though. They
No.
both built a bigger house, and they're both going up.
So they went up, right?
No, they went
They-
out on the other one too, so. Yeah, on every angle they went
Yeah,
out.
they went out and up on the other.
Okay,
On every
can I,
single
can I
wall.
just speak to that? If
So-
you don't mind?
Separate case, we can't.
Right, it's a separate case, we really shouldn't be using it.
Well, if we make decisions, we should use that as reference for other decisions to make,
But
I think, to
that-
keep the
that-
town running in a
In
flow.
that issue, it was a house that was built, and then they realized that they were in the
They never got permits. They
Yeah.
just- they just went
They never got,
They-
they never got building permit, the builder,
The builder didn't.
there was a lot of issues with the builder. So it was like, they built it and oops, we forgot.
Yeah.
These folks here are coming and saying, we'd like to do something,
So we're gonna make. a
what should we
permit.
do, but we don't know what they wanna do though, that's the issue.
That's what I would feel, that's the hang up for me, and as I don't know what you guys want, so I can't speak to those items to then, to give that reason, does that make
You
sense?
guys wouldn't, but you
Okay,
guys
hold-
wouldn't
hold
fall
on.
default on the six, because you've gone down through, you haven't gone through, maybe the other guys, you guys down through the community. Some of the people, when you reach to their windows, you're touching another house. Like literally, it's 3 feet away.
I totally
So
understand that.
if we said yes to one person, then they're gonna build 3 or 6 feet away, then why wouldn't we just say they can follow the condo's rules for this place, but they have to come for approval every time? But we just don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I probably shouldn't speak about the other house, okay, but here's my comment on it, because I saw it when it was going up, I saw it before the fact, I saw it all. They have a 52-foot wide lot, and they built a house that's 28 feet wide. They have approximately 12 feet on each side. That's where that's what they're using. Now, according to these setbacks, the town setbacks, they would each have to be a minimum of 20 feet, and they're not. So,
Many
So-
homes are down
I'm
there.
sorry?
Many homes are not down there.
most of them are
I don't
not,
think
because
there's
they're all
one that's not.
old, and they're all older. So, again, maybe we should just concentrate on
And,
two of the items as opposed to the big one.
well,
Here's what I was told. I would, initially, I spoke with, I think I spoke with Al.
Okay,
is he an
And-
enforcement?
Yeah.
Code enforcement, code enforcement, okay.
yeah,
And I spoke with him, and I said, look, the first thing we'd like to do is, because we're very, very new here, we need to get a little bit more space, even if that means just squaring it off. It's about 7 by 7, okay? And then he said, well, if you're gonna do that, just go for everything that you want. So I said, okay, we talked about it, we said, well, we'll add on this 12 by 15 section. Well, hell, if we're gonna do this, we have all this room back here, let's at least put it out there so that if we can come up with the dimensions and everybody were to look at it and say, well, the setback here is supposed to be 20 feet, but what you have here is 15 feet. Okay? We're gonna accept that, just me talking now, okay? The front is supposed to be 30 feet. It's set at 24, and that's not gonna change, okay? The back section here, from the house to the lot line, the property is 48 feet. We're only coming out 16 feet. So to be able to look at this and to say, if you stay with these dimensions, then that footprint would be okay. That's okay for us, regardless of what you do. As long as you don't go beyond those, you're okay. And that's what I was hoping we were gonna be able to do. Whether we were gonna build, whether it was gonna be completely a full foundation, whether it was gonna be 2-story, that was all to be determined. It was, again, just the footprint. Because we kept hearing after the fact, no, you have to build right on top of that. So we can't build on top of this. This thing's 400 square feet. You know, we have, well, you'll see, I'm sure you've seen it in the other things. We have 3 boys with 6 grandkids, and, I mean, her and I might be able to do something in this. We'll never be able to have family over. If you do that, that's not your problem. That's not
right,
your problem.
This is the
But I'm
use
just
you
saying,
want- this is
when
the
we're
use you
told
want of
one
your
thing,
property.
and then it just
really are
completely
short.
changes,
right.
we say, my God, what are we doing here?
Any
What are we gonna
person,
do with the extra room? Raise pet cattle?
It's a point of, just clear, I'm super green on this zoning board
And you,
here, so
you heard what, I mean, without actually having like, this is,
yeah, it's hard for me
Yeah.
to say, like,
Well,
you know, I don't know what they're asking for, so why, I mean, I just feel like I would arbitrarily
A,
be like, make
right.
this 2 feet shorter.
I
right.
just think if you
Well,
walk
A,
down through the
B, or
neighborhood and see the neighborhood,
I'm
and I was, if I
intimately
was,
familiar with the
if I was,
neighborhood.
if I was walking in their shoes and I was bought the house and told that they could square off and you see all the new
It's
houses that
not-
are built up,
But
so, I'm
that's
saying,
beside the point. That's not under our control.
Can I just ask it's a condo association,
Yes.
so do they need permission from the condo association, or no, as long as they are within those setbacks?
permission.
Like, do we have to have proof from the town, from the condo association saying that they can do this? I just don't know
We
the
supersede.
point of order on it.
So for us, it doesn't matter because the
Okay,
town
'cause-
supersedes.
So they go back afterwards to the condo association
And
and
say-
say,
that's between them and the condo
Okay.
association.
Can I just make one visual point if I
yeah,
would, if
that
it
would
makes any
be
difference?
unbelievably helpful.
Okay, this right here, this is the street,
Yeah,
okay? This is the only house, the only abutting house. This here and this here is all common area.
right,
Okay.
the beach is down over here.
No,
And
it's
the beach
actually
is
down
down
on the.
down this side,
actually over
yeah.
here, okay? I'm gonna just show you one.
Do you have the dimensions of the setbacks?
Yeah, that's the,
So
like, I don't know how much this
That's
is.
the
The 6 foot, he had the 6 foot line.
That's
No, but that doesn't
That's for
matter.
them, all
So the
That's-
6-foot
We're
setback.
talking about the 20
is
for the town.
The town setback, so it's 30 to the front and 20
20 to
sides.
the
20
sides
sides.
and to the
Okay.
rear.
So the lot you have,
I guess that's what does it look like on this lot? Is it this little, postage stamp of buildable area
So like
after it's
yes.
done, or?
Oh, so you're saying, what is this dimension?
It's 20, this here, I have it written there, because I had it done up.
And what is?
Like, what does 20 feet of setback look like on this lot? What is 30 feet
Well,
of?
it would leave you with 17 feet in the middle.
From here,
Yeah, that's what I'm,
It would leave you, because you're 20 feet from this side over,
Like
on
it's-
the bottom.
it's
Where you can
double
just-
this and then some.
you would have,
You have 17
you would
feet
have
of
a
it.
long, narrow building is what you would have.
Right,
Like
right,
your
right.
RV, right?
This here, from this point here to here, is 24 feet.
Okay, so
That-
30
and-
feet, the front setback is already cutting into your house.
It's 30 feet, and that, none of that is gonna change. This front is not going to change.
Right, right, right.
Okay? This here is what it is. This is already in place.
Yeah, totally.
6
understand
feet.
that.
This one here, from this point here to here, is 27 feet.
Yeah. Okay, so
So you have 7 feet to
it's
stay
7
within.
feet to be within the technical setback.
Technical setback,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And what we're looking to do is come out 12 feet.
Right,
Okay.
right, okay.
So you're
That's-
looking for 5 feet into the setback.
Right. And again, because this is all common area,
Right.
and I'm gonna just show you, I'm just gonna show you right here.
I think we need to stick the discussion to that, the dimensions.
That's, so I don't know what he's,
And-
like, if he's asking for this 12 one, well, that's a different conversation than if he's asking for this, you know
I
what I mean?
I am
That's-
asking, I am asking for the 12. What I'm trying to find out is what I can do,
Right.
okay? In a perfect world, that's what I would like. I'd like 12 feet, it still leaves 15 feet, and you can't see the next house.
So we can't, but we
Currently
can't
it is.
go
Yeah.
with that.
Meaning,
Why?
right now?
What do you mean you can't go with
Like, could
that?
I ask?
Because that's not, that's,
If-
what
yes.
happens outside of here isn't, unless you have an abutter saying something, doesn't
No, this
matter.
is the only abutter, the house right here is the
I
only
know, but it
abutter.
doesn't matter what
No,
happens
the
out here.
association, the common land is still considered an abutter.
Right,
So therefore, was,
It's,
Gina, were the abutters noticed for this hearing?
yes.
so I've spoken with all of them.
Yeah.
When you
No, no,
speak,
so-
I, no disrespect, sir, but.
And I don't mean to be
have
rude, I'm
no,
sorry.
it's- Were notices sent out to the abutters?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
I can.
And, so
yeah,
you had a
so
question?
I do have a question.
Yeah, you had a question.
Okay, so can you say like, yes, we will accept this footprint as you have outlined, as long as you abide by any kind of like height restrictions and use restrictions? I mean, it would be pretty reasonable, and you think, to just say, they may not take up all of this footprint space, but they would have the right to build within this approved footprint that you guys have accepted, as long as they don't exceed that, so you're basically setting a bound of what they're allowed to stay within, as long as they're not going against any other zoning regulations. Why would it really be a problem to say like, we accept, this much space, so long as you're not going 3 stories or whatever? I mean, they have to abide by all the other zoning regulations.
So, yeah, so from my perspective, if this is what they're asking for, right, we would decide whether there was an existing hardship, like we don't have dimensions on here, so we cannot see the setbacks, right? So we're trying to envision what the lot looks like without having it on here. So
Okay,
what I'm saying
you
is
don't see like the
what,
town's imposed setbacks.
right.
Okay.
And so because I don't see that, it's hard to justify anything because this looks like there's no hardship. This picture looks like there's no hardship because there's nothing that impedes it. There's nothing showing what the town is imposing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But couldn't we do it by scale, size?
Well, I mean, I
That's not my
have the
job.
measurements here, that's not good, that's not acceptable.
Huh?
I said I have the measurements here, that's not acceptable.
What she's saying is how the footprint that you're looking for, like, it's tough for me to sit here and, like, I'm trying to visualize a little sliver of buildable land, but I don't know that. I don't know what this looks like. Like, your dimensions of your floor, your footprint, that's there, that's awesome. I don't know what it looks like when it's superimposed on what you're restricted by because of the zoning. Is that, am I
Yes.
putting that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So should we
No, I
do this
just-
And
continue?
one of the requirements that we have to answer is not only hardship, but substantial justice doesn't make sense. Like, can you see it?
Like when
Is
you
it-
come back and you're like, I have this 5-foot wide building thing, it's easy to say, oh, okay,
yeah.
this is why you have to do this.
But guys, I think we need to take just a step back. I get what you guys want, and I get why you guys want it, and it totally makes sense. Totally a good point. But at the same time, is if we're gonna say no to these people, or just completely just blank it out, I get what we're trying to say, but we're going over little tiny details. We're gonna end up pushing more people to the point of the other people, where they're just gonna go and build, and then they're gonna just ask for the consequences later. And that's we're gonna set the precedence. If we said yes to one, we should say yes to the other.
I'm not saying say no, I'm saying,
But
can
I
we get a
get-
little more information, can we,
Right.
can we revisit this
It is-
with a like, not, it'd be hard for me to say, oh, you're okay with B, well, B imposes less of a restriction on the variance, so we should approve B. And A imposes even less, so like, I would feel more comfortable if we came back with one thing that he was asking for, and said, this is the thing that I want, and these are the things that it's imposed on. Does that sound
Like another piece of information, the dimension from this side, what is the, so that'd be 20 feet. So we already know that the
Which side,
front,
I'm sorry, I should say
so we know that the front is not gonna change.
Right.
We know that you're asking for
It makes sense to me.
5 feet into
I'm
this.
genuinely,
Right.
this makes sense.
What,
I just
what's the
want to get
setback
the bigger
here?
picture so that I can be
Well,
like,
the
oh, yeah,
setback is 20 feet.
Because we're not doing our job.
No.
I don't feel
From
I'm
this
like a
No,
doing
no,
my
no,
job.
I'm just saying from, but the measurement from here to here, I'm sorry, is 48 feet.
Okay.
You just don't wanna push people to where
And
they're gonna
from,
give up.
from this point,
And
from
that's what the
here
other
to
people
here,
say.
I think was
You
57
can think
feet.
if you were on the other side, that would.
oh, for sure.
So what we're
Yeah.
looking to do,
Yeah.
what
know.
we're looking to do
Shut down.
is,
Me too.
because this was really the only neighbor, with this here, we were looking to offset this by 12 feet. We wanted to move in that direction 12 feet away from them.
So would that corner to
That
that,
corner from here to the house,
to the,
to the house is 16 and a half feet.
okay, then to the property line?
I don't know what theirs is right here, because they're not
No, to your
within the
property
6
line.
feet. This is, the property line from here to here.
Yes.
That is, well, I can tell you from here to here is 18 feet, so this would have to still be, because they're very close to the property line.
So
So I
this,
would say 15 to 16 feet.
okay, so that could be, that's going to be within 20 feet
Mhm.
of the property line. So this is 30 feet requirement, this is 20 feet requirement, and this is 20 feet requirement.
Right.
So you're well within the 20-foot there, right?
Mhm.
So that's the question, you're gonna be within the 20-foot there, you're gonna be within the 20-foot there. So what I think, and correct me if anyone disagrees, I think what we could discuss and focus the discussion on is if they want to build this, A, B, and C, with the setback violations, if you, to lack of a better term, non-conformance, of this point and this wall, would we approve that? Or not would we approve it, but to discuss that, because that sounds like what they're asking for. Clarification on what they could build.
Yeah, if they want, if that's, I guess, if they're asking, is this big picture here what they're asking for, like, I would be okay with choosing one. I guess I just felt uncomfortable with the
But-
A, B, and C.
Yeah,
But if-
there is unknown, so
But
there
if,
is,
but if we say no, they can't come back. That is, that in there
If we
lies
say
the
yes.
thing. Right, right. But right now, if this is what they're looking for, and I say, well, C doesn't quite make it, it doesn't need to be this big, all right, we're gonna change C. And then, oh, all right, doesn't really need 12 feet, because then he can do that, right? So I don't have the dimensions. I'm looking at this, they don't have a real plan.
Yeah, I understand what you're driving for, I totally get that, I just don't
Yes,
know if it's,
yes.
and I'm super green at this, I don't know if I have enough, like, can we approve conceptual plans? Are we allowed to say, oh, you can
We
stay
could.
within, you know,
We don't
we
approve
set
plans.
setback limits? Or do we approve specific requests of a specific thing that is in violation of the zone? I don't
I don't
understand
see
our
where it
role.
said
That-
anywhere we had
That's
to
what I
have
thought we
plans.
did.
Well, they are asking to build within setbacks. They're asking to go 5 feet within this setback?
Not necessarily.
We don't know.
Well, I guess
We don't know, because they could do A, and they could do B, and they could do A, B, and C.
That's why we.
So we don't really know what they're really asking.
But they're asking for A, B, and C, essentially, and we're seeing if they can do all of A and C and C, and if they can't do A, B, or C, then they're trying to figure it out right now. So they're trying to see what they're allowed to do right now, so then they can get plans, because plans are expensive to get made, and it costs money. And
Well,
I
they
know.
could have a plan that shows me where 30 feet is. I mean, and 20 feet. And I don't, the 6 feet is an association
It's a
issue, but
move.
the town is where the 20 feet is. I understand that if they go side setbacks, there's 17 feet.
Then we shouldn't
I
make
don't-
those
I
people
don't
tear down
think-
their
I don't
home.
think we're an unreasonable board, but I think visually, I think we need to know what we're looking at. I mean, I have a line back here that shows 43 feet. I'm taking my pen, and I'm trying to figure out where 43 feet is. All right, what's 13 feet off of that? And if I put that, and I'm not quite sure which line I should be on here, so if I go back, is the front of the house at 30 feet?
But aren't we splitting hairs at that point, even at that point? Because even if, because
What's
we're all
the
we're caring
what's the
about.
purpose of having zoning
Well,
then?
that's why I was saying the last house we just approved. We
I-
approved it and it was within the 20 feet, all right?
But I
And-
can see that.
One second. We approved it within the 20 feet. After they built it and after that's permission, but we should have made them tear it down and be like, well, you should have done it this way, you should have took those closer calls.
So I
So
want you,
what the precedent we're gonna set, because we already went over this in their community, if you walk down through there, can I just finish?
I would like you to look at the
Okay,
plans
stop.
that they provided.
I understand they have provided plans.
Right, so
But-
we could see them.
I get that, but I'm just saying, we're in the same neighborhood. If you walk down through the neighborhood, there's houses 4 foot off one another. I feel like we're just splitting hairs about, are we gonna let them come close on this side and not this side? And it doesn't make any sense.
I
I
don't think
feel
what
like
they're
we're just
asking
making
for
it
is
difficult.
unreasonable, I just don't think we're doing our due diligence without having a full set of information, does it make sense? I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
yes and no, yes and no. I mean, the area there that I said was 27 feet, where we were looking to build 12-foot addition, and that would leave us about 15 feet to the property line. My understanding is the idea of this is for people to have privacy and all that. On that property line is common ground where the next house is probably 200 feet away.
They are stacked onto, stacked onto.
But I
each
mean,
other.
in this case here, this particular piece of property has so much common area, and it's not just a small area to pass through. I mean,
Maybe you should
Brady
pick
would
up
have trouble
Google
hitting
Maps.
the house with a football.
it's,
But so, I mean, that's my point. So I
Yeah,
understand,
this-
I understand the
this area
setback
is a
restrictions,
large open
Right.
area.
but some of it just doesn't,
I guess
it
this
just
is
doesn't
not a
seem
slight
like.
on you at all.
No, I understand that, but I'm
You
just
say
saying.
that this is 17 feet off of the lot line, but I don't know that it's 17 feet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any concrete evidence. If somebody came to me afterwards, I could be like, okay, this is the plan, this is what we,
right.
it's just,
And
That
So are we
is-
supposed to, Mayor?
Go ahead.
yeah.
So are we supposed to go to an architect, get plans drawn up and all that fun stuff before we come to you?
It
it
doesn't need to be that detailed, but you should, we should have
Bigger buildings,
on your
we need to draw lines,
picture,
20.
on your thing about where the lines are.
Well,
Where
again,
the town
if-
lines
If they wanted
are.
one more line on there.
If I could just say
And we
this
are
one other time.
and we are required to be able to answer all of these questions, like a set of questions, like,
I think we could.
we're required.
I mean, the
I think we could
dimensions
answer
that you're looking for are the ones that I was just giving you. When I put this in place here, this, as I said, this was part of the application, and I thought there was gonna be some conversation before we came to a
Right.
hearing.
It does.
And so I went back after the fact and made the dimensions. I wanted to get the dimensions, you know? And I'll be honest with you, I went on the lower side. It was 27.5 feet, I called it 27. Okay, I mean, it's just, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
And I understand the predicament, I understand what you're talking about, But the only way you're really gonna know for sure is if you go out there yourself to do it. Or if some type of surveyor does.
Right.
And that's all, and I mean, that's all, I don't know what to say. I mean, again, I'm just trying to get I think it's just a reasonable request to be able to just simply say, this is what we're looking to do, we're thinking about
Listen,
doing.
you're
Before we did anything, we
you're
would
seeking-
still have to submit plans
You're
and all that.
seeking information more than an approval of a variance. And I wonder, like, you kind of alluded to, is this the right forum for that? And I'm kind of leaning towards it's not, at this moment.
So motion
When you,
Like,
I guess,
so he's looking for information and he thought there was gonna be a discussion.
right,
This is a decision-making board,
yeah.
not a discussion board.
I know, but also.
And,
Okay.
no, and the, if we make a decision,
Right, I think
you're
that's,
stuck with it.
yeah, that's a very good point. We could
You can't come back.
make
You can appeal it, though.
a decision now
You could appeal it, but you can't.
To the state court, they overturn decisions.
would be on record, and if we don't approve anything, then you would have no legal, the only recourse would be to seek probably legal counsel to
Appeal it.
appeal the decision, and I don't know if that's the right direction right now, because we don't want to.
Yeah.
I think you need to go have a conversation with someone else in town planning who can tell you what the confines of it are, figure out what your plan is, and then come back to this board and say, this is my plans, I'm 3 feet in violation of this line. That's the stuff I feel like this
Yes.
board
Because
is
Yes.
we
for.
don't want to restrict your use of your property by any decision we make.
So
Can I say
where is
a
it
quick
that
point
we're
though? If you
supposed
guys,
to go
if
to?
we make a decision and say no, and you appeal it, and we already made a prior decision in the past that's very similar to this, the court will then side with you guys and then go right through. And then we have to pay the legal cost as town, and our town can be responsible for that. So,
I don't think we can offer legal advice.
well, we
Yes.
are anyway, so why, we're doing it
Well,
right
you know,
now.
we're
telling them to go to somewhere else to get
We're
advice.
still getting back to,
So why are we getting advice?
and I know two wrongs don't make a right and all that stuff, you know? But I'm looking at that other house and their setbacks and what they're allowed to do. 12 feet was allowed, whether or not it was right or wrong, it was allowed. We're looking at stuff it's even a lot bigger.
So
Yeah.
they had plans, when they came to us, they had specific
Yeah, but they
plans.
also built the place
Yeah.
without
I
getting.
realized that, and it was
Permission.
So
a
it's-
very difficult thing, and that,
And I
and
believe
it,
if they had lost, they would have had to take the house down.
If
yes.
they lost, but.
No, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
And
And that's a hardship, that's a totally separate case that is applied to those 5 things. And I
So
think
we
you
trade
guys have a
hardships
strong
on your
case
part.
right here. I just don't think we're doing our job by not having
That's what
I can't
we
tell
don't-
you can violate the lot line by 4 feet.
I disagree with you. I think if we don't do our job by not approving this, and I don't think that just because they didn't draw the lines for the town's ordinance, that we can't say, well, it doesn't matter, we know we're gonna be in violation or not in compliance with multiple sides. We know that already. You can pretty much see it. We're making a decision. When you've seen other houses in the area, they all fit together. It makes it fit for the community. It doesn't make it stand out, nothing. So I think that's silly for us to then we're just pushing more people to do what those other homeowners did, because then we let them off easy on the hook. So why, if we were that serious then, why didn't we do that then and say, nope, you should tear down your house and
Alright,
come
so-
back?
What we're asking.
The other
Then they
people got a
crit-
cease and desist and had to stop building their house until they got approval.
A permit, yeah.
What we're asking for
Inapproval.
is more information.
Yeah.
What they're asking for is more information. So we're kind of
So
coming
we should
at it.
continue it.
We're coming at it from 2 different directions. You need more information, because you want to know what you can do with your property. But we need more information to be able to say, as a deciding body, what you can and can't do. We don't know all of what you want to do. I understand this is an idea, but I think you'll need to go, and I don't know the best direction on where to go.
We shouldn't give them advice like you just said. We shouldn't.
That is a good point.
Yeah, we just said that to me, but
So-
everyone else can give
Yeah,
advice.
no, you're right.
So we should make a decision, either continue
All
this,
right.
call the vote, or do something, instead of just keep going around the spin wheel
Yeah.
over and over again. Because we're obviously not gonna
So
approve it.
what you should be hearing is that at least 3 of us feel we need more information. Each of us have said that we need more information. And I don't think it's in their best interest,
And that's my concern.
yes,
Yeah.
that we overvote.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that would be the best direction from this board's perspective of not bringing this to a vote right now, just because we don't want to make a decision without all the information of all of what you may want to do. Does that make sense?
I mean, correct me if my understanding is incorrect. You can't do anything on this piece of land that is in violation of the town's building code.
Right,
So
That's a
technically,
hardship.
technically,
Could.
it could be.
Yes.
Technically, they
Can't
can't
use
do
the
anything
house.
other than build in that slip of buildable land.
So could run
And
around
the
roads.
purpose of this board is that sometimes there are circumstances where that doesn't apply.
right.
And you have your, okay, this is what I want to do with my home. This is why it is this many feet in violation. This is exactly what I want to build in this footprint, not a rough idea. And then we look at that and say, yes, this
Seemed
is,
like he had
this is
some
a
decent
special
measurements.
lot here, and, you know, it doesn't conform with our town's idea. We get it, yes, absolutely, you can go ahead and do this.
Didn't you have the measurements from the back wall, this back wall, to the property line? Didn't you have a measurement?
So, so that if we're trying to maintain what the town's, the
You should have said no to the other.
holding, I wasn't there for the other one, so I can't talk about that one. I only hear, this is the only piece of information that I have that I can speak of. I don't even have a clue what they're talking about. I mean, if we're trying to maintain what they want in coinciding with maintaining the rules of the town, then the only thing we should approve here is A, because that is the least imposing on the town's,
Right.
restrictions, and it was considered acceptable to them. But I don't think that's really what they want. I think that you guys would be better off to come
You
back.
shouldn't give them advice, no advice. You should, that's.
Well, I mean, that was, originally, that was the proposal. All we wanted to do originally was square it off, which was A. And,
They told us to come to you
and
guys.
then it was, well, is that all you're going to do in the future? And I said, I don't know. We may move it this way, maybe move it this way. They said, you gotta get it all on paper, do it all at the same time. That's why we did all of this.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
is there a way to approve A
And me.
or B?
so
A,
B would still be in violation.
B, but A is in no violation.
A is still in violation
That's,
technically.
that, A would
House is
be
still
within all the other setbacks.
No, it's
But
not.
that would,
I don't know. I
Right?
It's not,
I
it's
don't
not in
know.
the setbacks, nope. The house is
oh,
not
the front setback. All right, so that you'd have to do just A,
in the side.
Well,
right? But we still don't know because we don't have the lines.
I mean.
We're looking for the setbacks.
All right,
Most of the
so-
time we get
Let
these
me go-
plans, I can show you.
We're just
if it
spinning
helps.
we're spinning around in circles.
I just,
I mean, don't think we're hurting. So like here, this lot layout, this has the setbacks of the requirements. So like here, this gentleman was looking to build this building, and it shows how much outside of the setbacks he was. Does that make sense? And this is what the town is requiring for restrictions. So it's the exact same thing you have here from the,
And you can,
The
you
condo
can
supply
see
class.
that he already was in a
Then we made a
non-conforming
decision
state,
to build it.
right? So we knew what was
The board of selectmen
non-conforming
can also
already. We can make an assessment about how the setbacks impacted what they were trying to do.
okay, so if we come back here, that's A. Why is that not within my,
I don't know if it's within the setback or not. Like, so this is,
So this 6 feet means nothing to us, because that's condo.
They wanted the 20-foot
You need
lines.
the
That's all
town
they need.
overlaid onto that.
All I have to do is, it's,
That's all you gotta do and come back, that's what they want, pretty much.
okay, okay.
Can't give you advice, but.
Okay,
You know,
does that
you
make
don't-
sense?
Yeah,
Seems
I
like a
don't
silly
think you
point.
guys want this. I think you guys want the big thing that you put out here.
well,
And
yeah,
so
but
I don't
we need to
think we
have the
can.
money to.
No,
Oh, we know.
but you have to do it right
Right.
away.
But that's the
Right.
variance you're
Yes,
asking for.
Yes, yes.
So that's the thing you want to do. That's the variance you're asking for.
Okay.
If you, well, it just escaped me. So if you come back to us, we're not gonna say you have to build A, B, and C. you come back to us with a plan that shows the setbacks, the town setbacks. I don't care, because I take my little map, this is what I rule right now, this is what I have, it's not very good. But there's a 65-foot long line here. So I drew, I'm guessing, I went, 65 feet, well, half of my pen is, there's a little edge, so I'm going, that's the 5 feet. So I'm using half my pen for the front line. No, I know, but, so I'm going, okay, well, the house appears to be non-conforming already, okay? If I approve your A, I'm still approving it in the setback, so is your B. But I wanna be definitive. Your C doesn't appear to be an issue, but you just come back, and we're not saying you have to build it, but now, when you go to build A, and you go to build B, go to build B, you have it, you have it. You don't have to come back to this board, you are approved. It could take you 30 years to do it. No, I'm just saying, but
Isn't there a time limit on?
no, I believe variances go for the life of the
Yep,
property.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
So they are,
Taj Mahal is coming the next time.
yeah, well, the lottery
No.
draw is like, just so I think.
No,
Yeah,
and then you don't need to be,
But
no,
seriously, 'cause
no,
people
it's
are
just-
more
it's
points off
just-
the
It's
wall.
just like, you know,
Seems,
we need to do our job. And at this point, it's hard to
I know
see
it's
it.
kind of, but the more information we have, we can make a better decision, because our, the town, the Board of Selectmen, could challenge our decision. And that could negate your, I've seen it done where they rejected, and they rejected the decision that this board made, a previous board made, and that board resigned.
that's why we're here.
But, so, you know, that just gets messy. Just, you know, we're not, if we vote and deny that right now, you're stuck with a 410 square foot house. You can't come back before this board. We can continue this to our next meeting if we think that that's a reasonable amount of time, or, you know, I don't wanna say July, but let's just say, let's go.
Or if you need more time,
Yeah, but I
it's
mean,
up to you.
you know, fine, because I'm sure that when you're gonna build your house, you're gonna go to an architect anyways. And they're gonna wanna know, they may wanna say, well, what variance, you know, the town has these setbacks here, you can build a 17-foot wide house, and I don't, you know, but you can say, you know, I'm going before the board, and, you know, it's a non-conforming lot as it is already. You know, we have several of those in town, and whenever they change their use, I believe they have to go before the planning board at least, because, you know, they're businesses, and just to, like, check in, if you will. And generally, it's a little discussion, and they go through, but it's, this shows the 6 foot. Unfortunately, that's the Lakewood,
Right, that's the condo.
that's the condo association, that's theirs, that's fine, but the town is 20 foot. And as I say, I'm a reasonable person, you know, 17, who wants, you know, that's, you know, bring up your RV, park it in the driveway, and that's your house, and that's not right, you know. But let us make an informed decision with all the information available to us, and just show it, because his idea of 30 feet, her idea of 30 feet, my idea of 30 feet are all gonna be different.
Quick
But
question.
if you show us something on here that says 30 feet, there's no argument.
So that's what everyone pretty wants. Everyone's in agreement that all we need is some 30-foot lines and all
We'll
the
just
town,
need to see.
the town
All
lines,
right.
that's all we need. That's
So-
what we're in agreement with, yes?
So,
Just so we don't misinform them, so what we're trying to, that's what we're pretty much
they
arguing
need
over.
to come back with what they would like,
Okay.
which includes the setbacks, the town setbacks.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean by what you would like? Because we don't know what we want. I mean, as far as actually building. When you say like, you're talking about in a general area,
So-
or?
If you were to just, my opinion, this is my opinion, if you were to overlay the town's
Yeah,
thing onto your picture, right? You might decide that the configuration that you've chosen isn't really something, you might want to change it a little, alter it a little, once you have the town's overlay on it.
Because what we have to decide upon is what the town zoning requires, the ordinances are, what you're wanting to do, why you're wanting to do it, and we have to decide, because you're asking for a variance on a select criteria, and one of those is hardship. We don't know how difficult or how much of a hardship you're experiencing by these ideas. We don't know exact, more detail.
If I asked you to build this instead of 32 feet wide, maybe 30 feet wide and then 18 feet long gets you well more in conforming to the town setbacks. I just don't know that. I don't know what this building looks like. Does that make sense? Because that's why we're looking for it, is how it fits on the property and within the restrictions. Because whether we like the ordinances or not, that's what this town voted as its building laws. So that's more why it is. Because I can't sit here and definitively say, oh yeah, he's got a hardship here to have a 16-foot wide building with a 32-foot, 32-foot length. Does that make sense? Is why we're looking for that?
Cool. So are we gonna make a motion to continue?
Sure. Someone wants
Motion to
make it?
continue?
Do we have any more?
Do you have any,
Thoughts?
you're still measuring.
No,
Okay. So I think at this point, we're all in agreement that we're not going to proceed with this case. We're going
Here's a
to
second
continue
motion.
it.
Do we have a
Is
motion?
that
He motioned it. Yeah, I'll second that.
okay?
Yep.
so our meeting on June,
So next month?
we're gonna look over a date.
For the record, we spent 30 minutes talking about that.
We're trying to give you
And
due
for
diligence.
example,
Just with-
this is the hardship of fitting in that
Absolutely, I get
100 square
it.
foot house.
I get it, I'm sorry.
I have,
Motion to adjourn?
I have
No, wait,
those.
wait,
We
wait.
haven't
Yeah.
voted.
Don't
We
be
haven't
silly.
voted, yeah.
We need to find, what happens if these folks are out of town? We say, hey, you're coming back on June 18th and they're in Greece.
Oh,
Did I win the lottery tonight?
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I don't know, maybe, so.
So is
our
that the next meeting?
Our next meeting would be June 18th. If we continue this to June 18th,
Do we have an alternate? I will be in Dallas for work that week. That whole week.
No, we just have to go to a
Will
four-person board.
you send your pre-approval before you go?
Well, you only need 3 people to approve, so that's fine, as long as you're okay with
but
having
a
a
tie is the same as a zero.
tie is the same as 0 now, yeah.
No.
So that's a
What does
decision
that
to
mean?
make.
A tie is the same as
So
zero?
if it's 2-2, then it means it fails. But don't forget, you also have the Board of Selectmen as your root of avenue and the state Supreme Court. So there's 2 different appeals. If that happens, so.
Yeah.
Okay, again, just so that I understand everything,
Yeah.
okay? And I know nobody's giving out any information or
Yeah.
telling us what to do,
Yeah.
but basically what you're looking for is the town setback imposed on this with some of, right over this, basically.
Yes,
Is what
exactly.
you're looking for,
Exactly it.
So
okay?
what markings are these, if these aren't the?
This is all, this is
That's
all
condo.
off of a site assessment. This was not done by, this is what we were given at the beginning, so, anyway. What they're looking for is something here, 20 feet this way, 30 feet this way, 20 here, 20 there.
Yeah.
So continue until the next meeting.
Right,
That's-
so,
That's what I
right,
think that's
and
what
you
we're voting on.
would be able to continue to July. If do we have an alternate?
No, but you never know, maybe people before the board.
Oh,
It's a month away.
that's true,
What does
that's
that
true.
mean?
Well, if we have a 4-person board right now, or 5-person board, that's what is required. If she already knows that she's not gonna be here, then we, hopefully by then we'll have an alternate, so that alternate could be able to sit and vote at the table, so that you'd be a
Right.
5-person.
So you'd have 5 people, yeah.
So the 2-2 vote is, and at that, if there's 4 at that meeting, you'd be asked, do you wish to continue, because realizing that a 2-2 vote is the same as a no. And I'm just.
Given you, yeah.
So we need a vote on
So his
the,
motion.
Yes.
so all in favor of his motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we're gonna
Yeah.
continue it next meeting.
All right, may I have people's names? You're
Jim Engel.
E-N-G-L-E.
Correct.
Matt.
Gilman, Gilman.
Yes.
Jake Olson?
O-L-S-E-N.
Oh, Swedish.
Yeah, so, it's basically, these are,
TTA.
so you would qualify go with. And you, sir?
BRIC.
If you can, you can almost take this out, so you can stick the
Chair. Vice chair, people, people, people.
You just go to the land use office and they say no.
Whose office?
You go to the land use office, that's how you communicate with us, it goes through, the town land use office.
And so now technically we need to go.
We can
and
shut
ask-
Sheena.
Oh,
Are we adjourned?
We've not made a
Yes,
motion.
we haven't,
Notice she had.
Oh, all right, was this, oh, all right, you had more questions?
Yeah.
Motion.
no, so, a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Sure.
Right
Okay,
now?
all right,
The
very good.
question
Yeah, we
was,
have to vote on it, guys, we have to vote on the motion.
We did.
No, we have.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
We need to shut off the camera, though. Thank you. Yeah.
so if we do have questions, who should we be calling?
No,
So-
us,
Just the land use
So
office.
it's a little bit
Yeah, so,